Hi, I'm Linda. This is episode 6 of my senior dating experiences. I thought it might be nice to date someone from the States as I am when the opportunity came up on the dating site. Would us being two foreigners in the UK give us more in common? I didn't hold much faith in the prospect. FS was a chef by profession and had worked all around the world for a major hotel chain. Normally I avoid chefs or guys seriously into cooking. I hate doing the dishes, especially after a meal or whatever. This is not necessarily always the case, but most of these guys feel that if they did the cooking, then I should do the cleaning at a time when I just want to kick back and relax too. And the biggest problem with a chef is that he will dirty every pan in the house, which don't all fit in the drain rack at one time. I eat in such a way as to use the least number of dishes, often just eating out of a microwave ready meal tray. FS was very proud of all the traveling and foreign places he had lived. I couldn't really relate to it. I don't care to travel much because I have a pet, and I hate all the time spent waiting for restaurant meals, planes, trains, buses, lines requiring tickets, and so on. Then there was the issue of him coming from the deep south and their holier-than-thou beliefs. Too many Christian beliefs that are as strict as the time of the Spanish Inquisition. Fortunately, the subject never came up because I'm pretty sure he would not at all approve of my past. When we first started talking on the phone, FS seemed a bit drunk. He had diabetes, so his insulin level may have been the culprit. I also had to consider that being from the deep south in the States, it could have affected his mannerisms and speech style. He was very critical of some of the women he had come into contact with, mostly because he felt insulted by them. We really didn't have much in common. I was curious about his experience dating Scottish women, but he hadn't had very many actual dates with them. I asked him about cooking with nutrition in mind, but it was never covered in cooking school when he went. I mentioned my stop-motion video. He referenced a couple very old cartoons of that style, but had no curiosity about what I had done. So the phone conversations didn't do anything for me. I found out from another guy on the dating site that there was a Ray Harryhausen exhibit going on at a gallery in Edinburgh. He was the stop-motion animation king for 50 years, and the exhibit had most of the creature props he created, as well as videos of how he did it. I was very interested in that, so I invited FS to join me there. He didn't drive or have a car, which was something I found consistent with the Met in Edinburgh. So I bought the tickets, and we agreed to meet there. We met up early in front of the gallery and had a meal in the cafe there before the scheduled entrance time. It was expensive as the tickets, so he paid for the meal, but he also complained about the cost. During the meal, he talked constantly about himself and never asked me anything about me. We then went through the gallery. He was unfamiliar with the work of Ray Harryhausen, but seemed to be interested in the exhibit. I loved seeing the actual size of all the characters, how they were made, and how they were filmed when Ray had to use 35mm film shooting one frame at a time. One thing that concerned me was that, though I knew FS didn't drive because he had no peripheral vision, he also had no depth perception, which made it difficult for him to negotiate the stairs in the gallery, and even outside. This would mean he would not be able to walk on uneven ground in a rough area outside like a park. By the time we got out of the gallery, he seemed quite tired. I had wanted to show him my animation project, which was on my computer tablet, but he wanted to just go home. I gave him a ride to near where he lived and left. I was a bit annoyed that I had tried to make our time flexible and that I could stay a while longer than just going to the gallery. Hopefully maybe getting a coffee or a snack somewhere. We got out of there during rush hour, and I was trying to avoid being on the road there at that time. With him tiring out so soon, I ended up stuck in a lot of traffic just trying to get out of town. Though I left him a nice message on the dating site, I didn't hear from him again. I was fine with that, as I didn't think it would go anywhere anyway. At least I got a nice day out going to the exhibit. I have found too often that many men fail to disclose their health problems before meeting. Diabetes is a problem because it affects a man's libido and what he can eat, among other things. I had 2 dates with a very nice man who had been in a major motorcycle accident. He had a great sense of humor, and I continue to get funny jokes he posts on Facebook, which I always enjoy. He was reasonably good with computer tech and video stuff, and I hoped he might be able to help me with some of my tech issues. So I drove 45 minutes to visit him at his home. He neglected to tell me that one whole side of his body was largely non-functional, and he barely walked with a cane. Though he had bragged about having a nice car, he couldn't drive it due to his injuries. He said he was in the process of getting physical therapy. He had a lot of motorcycling friends, so he had all the help he needed, but it seemed he was looking for a carer. Though we had several things in common, I didn't sign up to a dating site to become someone's carer. I feel it is deceit by omission and almost as bad as lying. There are dating sites for disabled people and people with health issues. If a man has health issues that make it hard to date him, he should be reasonably upfront about it by the 3rd phone call. We are at the age where we shouldn't be wasting too much time because we start to think about how much of it we really have left. I understand why a man who is compromised with poor health would be looking for a healthy woman to take care of him. I'm sure there are women looking for a man to take care of rather than remain lonely. So it is worth a shot to look for one on a dating site. I just feel there should be a box they have to tick that must go on their profile that says they have health issues. It's only fair. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe.